wave present, no reflection. That means what? When you are not taking ZL is equal to Z0, when ZL is not equal to Z0, if you are taking some other value other than Z0, then what will happen? Definitely, okay, then both the forward wave and reverse wave present, because only under the special condition no reflection. In all other cases definitely reflection will be there. Okay, so both forward wave and reverse wave, reflected wave present. Then what is the meaning of this one? Definitely reflection is present. Okay, reflection is present. Okay, so we have come to some conclusion. When load impedance is equal to Z0, only forward wave, no reflection. Or otherwise, in all other cases, definitely reflection is there. But if at all reflection is there, we have to analyze what is the reflection coefficient, then what is the standing wave. Okay, in future we will do. Okay, so in the next session. Okay, now see, now you are using gamma. That gamma consists of always alpha plus beta. You are always using gamma. Gamma means what, sir? Always alpha plus j beta. Now you know what is beta in general. What is beta? Beta means phase constant. Okay, phase constant. Then that is equal to 2 pi by lambda. That is equal to 2 pi by lambda. Okay, sometime later we will calculate beta L. Okay, already you know what is L. L means the length of the line. L means what? Total length of the line. But this beta L is indicating the electrical length of the line. In the exam they'll ask, sir, what is the electrical length of the line? Can anybody tell me what is the unit, electrical length unit? Is it meter or something else? Yes, anybody?
Radian, sir.
Yes, in terms of angle, yes, radian. Okay, L means physical length of line. L means physical length of the line. Okay, now we will analyze some of the special cases like open circuit lines. If it is a open circuit line, then what happens? If it is a short circuit line, then what happens? That and all we'll discuss now. Okay, special cases. First one is open circuit line. Okay, before going to the open circuit line, you should know one thing. Whenever you have a open circuit, okay, open circuit means, okay, definitely the current is zero. Open circuit means definitely the current is zero because current cannot flow. And also you know that impedance is infinite because it is open. But it doesn't mean that the voltage is zero. So for the open circuit, current is zero, impedance is infinite, but voltage can be anything. That is decided by the other part of the circuit. Voltage can be anything. Because you have some wrong idea, you always apply the Ohm's law, but you cannot apply Ohm's law also here because V is equal to IR, but I and R is not in a proper format because Z goes infinite that time. That means what? That time you cannot apply Ohm's law. Okay, because limit goes to infinite. But so what is the meaning of that one? Whenever you have a open circuit, current is zero, impedance is infinite, but the voltage can be anything. Similarly for the short circuit, voltage is zero. Okay, impedance is zero, the current can be anything. But so whenever you have open circuit, you should have this idea in your mind. Okay, next, then you take some line length, some line like this. The length can be of anything, but this is of open circuit. Okay, at the load end we are not connecting anything, but at the source we are connecting some Vs. Okay, this is the length of the line. This is the length of the line. Okay, now one thing is very clear. Now what is current at the receiving end? Definitely that is zero. Instead of IR, I can write it as IL also. Okay, current at the receiving end, IR or IL is equal to zero. Then what is ZL? Okay, so better I will write this also L. Okay, this is IL is equal to zero. Then ZL is equal to infinite. But I don't know what is VL. VL can be anything. VL can be anything. Now I want to measure what is the now this is the open circuit. I know I want to measure the input impedance of the open circuit. That's why I'm writing it as ZOC. What is the input impedance of the open circuit from the source end? From the source end. Now you know all the values. You know some conditions. You know some condition. You just try to substitute that condition. Okay, what happens when I is equal to I at x is equal to L? I when x is equal to L, that is IL is equal to 0. IL is equal to 0. Then that means what? You write that corresponding equation 0 IS cos H gamma L minus Vs divided by Z naught sin H gamma L. From this equation, okay, once you bring the term, you bring the second term to the other side, then finally you can get just you try to measure Vs divided by Is, because that's our aim. We want to measure the impedance from the source end, that is equal to ZOC actually. Now ZOC or input impedance, that will be equal to from this equation. Once if you rearrange and you try to calculate Vs divided by Is, that will be equal to Z naught cot hyperbolic function of gamma L. Okay, cot gamma L. So finally, what is the open circuit impedance? Open circuit impedance of the line length L is equal to Z naught, okay, cot H gamma L. Okay, it's very clear. The open circuit impedance depends on two parameters. One is characteristic impedance of the line, and another one is the length of the line, and also the propagation constant. Okay, propagation constant. So its value is ohm. Okay, so and again then you will derive the equation for short circuit also. Okay, that time you will get, instead of cot, you will get tan. You will get tan. Okay, this is a open circuit impedance of the general transmission line with the length L. With the length L. Okay, next short circuit line. Short circuit line. Okay, so again you are making short circuit at the load end. Once if you make short circuit, what is the load impedance? That is 0. Then what is the voltage? Load voltage, that is also 0. But current can be anything. Okay, current can be anything because some IL will flow. Okay, even if it is short, the current can flow. So this is the source voltage. Okay, now this is Vs and this is your Is. Now I want to measure what is the impedance looking from this point, that is ZSC. Now you know what is the voltage at the load. The voltage at the load is 0. Then you choose the corresponding transmission line equations, voltage equations. Okay, because you are having two equations. One is for current and another one is for voltage. Okay, now voltage at x is equal to L. Okay, voltage at x is equal to L, that is equal to VL is equal to 0, that is equal to Vs cos hyperbolic function, then Is Z naught sin hyperbolic function. Then you make the rearrangement. Finally, you can calculate Vs divided by Is, that is equal to Z naught tan H gamma L. Then what is the meaning of this Vs divided by Is? That is equal to short circuit impedance, and also this can be written as input impedance because you are at the input end, source end. Okay, ZSC is equal to Z naught, okay, tan hyperbolic gamma L, and hyperbolic gamma L. Okay, so now finally, what is the short circuit impedance and what is the open circuit impedance? Okay, so open circuit impedance ZOC is equal to Z naught cot gamma L, and short circuit is equal to Z naught tan hyperbolic gamma L. Now the confusion arises in future because whether for open circuit cot comes or for short circuit cot comes, this get interchanged. Then see, very simply you can remember OC, you try to write it in reverse, that will give you CO, that means cot theta. Okay, so always for open circuit only you will get cot theta. Then definitely for short circuit you will get tan theta. For short circuit you will get tan theta. Then remaining parameters you should know in that format. Okay, next, what is gamma? Gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta. gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta. Alpha means giving you the attenuation or loss. For a lossless line, if the line is lossless, okay, for lossless line, definitely alpha is 0. Okay, then gamma is equal to only j beta. Gamma is equal to only j beta. Once if you apply that condition here, before applying, just you try to know what is instead of gamma, if you replace j beta, what happens? That we'll write now. So once if you have tan h gamma l, if you substitute tan instead of gamma, generally gamma consists of alpha plus j beta, but alpha now is 0. So you can write j beta l. Okay, tan, okay, tan hyperbolic j beta l. Okay, once if it is like this, tan hyperbolic j beta l, okay, then that is equal to j tan beta l. J tan beta l. Okay, see, please remember the h is cancelled. Okay, h is cancelled. Similarly, whenever you are having cot h gamma l and cot h j beta l, then minus j cot beta l, minus j cot beta l. Okay, that hyperbolic function we are replacing with the ordinary function, ordinary tan function. Here also ordinary cot function. So here j comes, here minus j comes, here minus j comes. So finally, for a lossless line, I can write short circuit and open circuit impedance like this. Okay, for lossless line, this is very important. Okay, for lossless line, Z short circuit is equal to j z naught. Okay, tan beta l for open circuit minus j z naught cot beta l. This is something you should remember always for lossless line formula. Even if you don't remember for ordinary formula, no problem. But you have to remember this always. This is most important. In the exam, 99% you will get question based on this one only. Okay, for lossless line, what is the short circuit impedance? What is the open circuit impedance? Okay, for short circuit, this is for open circuit. Okay, what is the impedance? Okay, and again, there is some other way also to derive this formula. From the input impedance also we can derive this formula, that I will do it later. Okay, okay. So now what is the understanding that we have got? Okay, with the help of open circuit and short circuit. See, when you have some length, okay, already j z naught is there, tan beta l is going to give some value, then you can decide, you can design with the help of this one, you can design any reactance, any inductive reactance. Okay, because j is positive. Okay, j is positive. Again, beta l, once if you substitute beta l, tan beta l value can be positive or negative, can be positive or negative. Actually, you can design jxl or minus jxl also you can design. It's all how you are choosing your beta l, because tan beta l can be positive or negative. Okay, tan beta l value can be positive, negative. So you can design any reactance, it may be positive or negative. Similarly, here also you can design simply you can design minus jxl, or if you choose a value in such a way, then you can design plus jxl also. Okay, அதனால ஷார்ட் சர்க்யூட் இருந்தா வந்து இண்டக்டிவ் ரியாக்டன்ஸ் மட்டும் தான் டிசைன் பண்ண முடியும், ஓப்பன் சர்க்யூட் இருந்தா கெப்பாசிட்டிவ் ரியாக்டன்ஸ் மட்டும் தான் டிசைன் பண்ண முடியும்னு கிடையாது, பட் இன் ஜெனரல் we'll design inductive reactance with help of short circuit only generally. Okay, with help of inductive reactance can be designed very easily with help of short circuit. Similarly, capacitive reactance can be designed very easily with help of open circuit. Because what will happen if you try to design capacitive reactance with the help of short circuit, then you need the length of the line will be very high. Okay, then see the length come, because L is there, you cannot see, you are putting some value, you are getting some positive value, then you are getting inductance. But if you want to get negative value, really you have to increase your L. Okay, so that I can easily get from open circuit. okay, then length matters. Okay, that's why generally when you want to design inductive reactance, we'll go for short circuit, or if it is a capacitive reactance, then we go for open circuit, because length is matters. Okay, if you try to design it in another way, definitely the length will increase. Okay, other way also we can design. Okay, so what is the idea here? See, see, inductive means we'll always prefer short circuit. Capacitive means we prefer open circuit. What is the meaning of this one? Other way also can be designed, but length will increase. Other way also can be designed, but length will increase. Okay, but length will increase. That is the limitation here. Okay, so now to take some note. A section of the transmission line with open circuit or short circuit can act as a circuit reactive element or a susceptive element. So by varying beta L, you can get the desired reactance or susceptance. Okay. So what they are telling, you can design any reactance or susceptance can be designed with the design any reactance or susceptance can be designed either with the section of transmission line in open circuit or in short circuit format, either in open circuit or in short circuit format. Okay, then the section of the transmission line is always called as stubs. Okay, small section of transmission line. Section of transmission line is called as stubs. Stub, very important, because it is used in impedance matching. The stub, it is used in, then what is the use of stub? It is used in impedance matching. It is used in impedance matching. Okay, it is used in impedance matching. In future, we will see there are two types of stub matching. One is single stub matching and another one is double stub matching. There are some advantage and limitation on both. Okay, so we'll see it later. Now, next is phase velocity. Next is phase velocity. Already you know what is phase velocity, because phase velocity is simply the ratio of frequency and phase constant. Okay, so the phase velocity is equal to omega divided by beta. Velocity means meter per second. Velocity means meter per second. Okay, now what is gamma? Gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta. Alpha plus j beta. If you want to have alpha, that is equal to real part of gamma. But you should know what is gamma. Gamma means what, sir? Gamma means R plus j omega L and G plus j omega C. Okay, once again, even if you take a real part of this one, this is gamma, you need alpha. Even if we take real part of gamma, that is what, sir? That is always function of what? Even if you take gamma, okay, you try to get gamma from this, that is always function of what? Definitely that will be function of R, G, L, C and all. That means what? Finally your attenuation constant depending on what? Depends on all parameter R, G, L, C. Similarly, once if you calculate beta from this, that also depends on R, L, G, C. But we are going to analyze some limiting condition. Okay, limiting condition. Okay, now we'll discuss about distortion. We'll discuss about what's that? Distortion. Okay, distortion in maybe electronic circuits one or two, I don't know. End power amplifier you might have heard like distortion. distortion term வந்து power amplifierல கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க. Anybody is remembering what is the distortion present in the power amplifier? Is it amplitude distortion or frequency distortion or phase distortion? Anybody? Generally there are 3 distortion because for a signal itself only 3 parameters.
Amplitude.
Amplitude distortion. Okay, what is the meaning of amplitude distortion? Yes, anybody, what is the meaning of that amplitude distortion?
Amplitude gets expanded.
No, sir, no.
Okay.
Okay.
The input and output amplitude.
இல்ல மேம். ஓகே, அப்புறம் பாருங்க, generally there are 3 distortion: amplitude, frequency distortion and phase distortion. Another name for phase distortion is delay distortion. Okay, now we will see only 2 type of distortion that is relevant to our discussion now, that is frequency distortion and phase distortion or delay distortion. Okay, அந்த ரெண்டு மட்டும் நம்ம பார்ப்போம். remaining நீங்க amplitude distortion and பார்த்தோம். Okay, now we discuss about only 2 distortion. One is frequency distortion. Okay, frequency distortion. Another one is phase or delay distortion. Okay, phase or delay distortion. Okay, so now when you have when you have signal, the signal consists of many frequencies. The signal consists of many frequencies. If the different frequency undergoes different attenuation, okay, what I'm telling, finally, in this case, what is happening? See, your alpha is going to be function of frequency. You know what is alpha? Alpha means what? Attenuation. If attenuation itself is function of frequency, means what? Some frequency will undergo more attenuation, some frequency will undergo less attenuation, some frequency will undergo less attenuation. That is called as frequency attenuation. Sorry, frequency distortion. If the different frequency undergoes different attenuation, or what is the another term for attenuation? You can also tell as a gain, because 1 by gain is equal to what? Attenuation. If the different frequency undergoes different gain, that is called as frequency distortion. Or if the different frequency undergoes different attenuation, then it is called as frequency distortion, undergoing various frequency component with various attenuation. Undergoing, what is the meaning of this one? Various frequency component undergoes various attenuation. Various frequency component undergoes various attenuation. அதான் சார் இங்க சிம்பிள் ஃபார்மட்ல எழுதியிருக்கேன். ஆல்பா இஸ் வாட் சார்? ஃபங்க்ஷன் ஆஃப் ஃப்ரீக்வன்சி. Yeah, because gamma is equal to what? Alpha plus j beta. If gamma is function of frequency, definitely alpha also has to be what? Function of frequency. Alpha also has to be a function of frequency. Okay, so இதுதான் வந்து frequency distortion. Then what is delay distortion? What is the delay distortion? So that means what? Delay is function of frequency. So delay, what is delay? Delay is function of frequency. Okay, delay na என்ன சார்? நீங்க சிக்னல் இருக்கு, ஒரு சிக்னல் வந்து டிரான்ஸ்மிட்டர்ல இருந்து ரிசீவர், சென்டிங் எண்ட்ல இருந்து ரிசீவிங் எண்டுக்கு போறதுக்கு எவ்வளவு டைம் எடுத்துக்குது, அதுதான் வந்து என்னது? டிலே. பட் when you have signal, the signal consists of many frequencies. Okay, then different frequency, எல்லா frequency ஒரே நேரத்தில் தான் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுது. All the frequencies are starting at same time, but different frequency reaching the receiver at different time. Reach பண்றது எல்லாமே என்னது? Same. Then that means what? The delay undergone by each frequency component is different. Okay, so delay is function of frequency. அது எப்படி கூட இருக்கலாம். சப்போஸ் frequency வேல்யூ அதிகமா இருந்தா அது சீக்கிரமா போய் சேரலாம், frequency கம்மியா இருக்கிறதுலாம் லேட்டா போகலாம், ஆர் அதர்வைஸ் ஆப்போசிட்டா கூட நடக்கலாம். frequency வேல்யூ அதிகமா இருந்தா டிலே அதிகமா இருக்கலாம், frequency வேல்யூ கம்மியா இருந்தா டிலே வந்து கம்மியா இருக்கலாம். ஸோ எப்படி வேணாலும் இருக்கலாம். ஓகே, there are 2 cases. But in general, the signal which is having a higher frequency will reach the receiver at a quicker time. Okay, will reach the receiver at quicker time. Then signal of having low frequency will reach the receiver at a later time. It will take some delay, some more time. Okay, so each frequency component is undergoing different delay. Okay, so various frequency component undergoes various delay. Okay, various delay. Okay, so various frequency component undergoes various delay. Why variation in delay? Definitely variation in time comes from the variation in velocity, because the distance that has to travel is constant. Distance of travel is constant. If the delay is different, then definitely velocity has to be different. That means what? Various phase velocity, different phase velocity. So each frequency is having different phase velocity, because phase velocity, just like that delay cannot come. It is from the velocity only. If the velocity differs, then the delay differs. Okay, so for frequency distortion and what is phase distortion? Another name for phase distortion is delay distortion. Another name for phase distortion is delay distortion. Now we will try to derive the distortionless transmission line. Okay, if the line is distortionless, then definitely it has to be free from frequency distortion, as well as it has to be free from the phase distortion. Okay, in our case, the line is to be distortionless, then definitely it should be free from both frequency and phase distortion, because we are having only these two type of distortion here, either only frequency distortion or phase distortion. Then once if we try to remove both distortion, then the line becomes a distortionless transmission line. Okay, now distortionless line. Okay, so what is our definition? The line is distortionless if it is free from both, if the line is free from both delay and frequency distortion. If line is free from both delay and frequency distortion. Okay, if the line is free from both delay and frequency distortion. Now you write gamma. Okay, gamma is equal to R plus j omega L, R plus j omega L plus G plus j omega C overall square root. Okay, now if I take L outside, then this is equal to R by L plus j omega, and if I take C outside, this is G by C and j omega. Okay, now the equation is like this. Now see, if I choose R by L, okay, this is one condition I am applying. If I take R by L is equal to G by C, now what I can do, instead of G by C, I can put what's R by L. Once if I apply this condition, how can I modify my equation? The equation will be modified like this, because instead of this term, once if I apply this condition, this term and this term both are same. Once if I apply this condition, both these terms are same, then I can take it outside. Okay, once if I take it outside, then what is inside? Only root LC is there. Only what is there? Root LC is there. That too, there are two terms, then square root also will cancel. Okay, once if I apply this condition, my gamma will be square root of LC, then R by L j omega is possible. When it is possible, if instead of G by C, if you replace R by L, then this is possible. Or if you replace in the another way, then this is possible. You can also write square root of LC, okay, G by C j omega. This is also possible. Anyone. Okay, now from this it is very clear the gamma is equal to some real component. You can multiply square root of LC inside, no problem. Okay, then what is alpha here? Anybody? The alpha means a real value of this gamma. So this is a real value, then you multiply with the square root of LC. Once if you multiply R by L with the square root of LC, you are getting R C by L. Okay, I am not taking the imaginary component because I am writing only a real component. Similarly, if you take the real component from this, that is equal to G divided by L by C, L by C. So very clearly my alpha attenuation is independent of frequency. If I apply this condition, okay, if I apply this condition, my alpha is independent of frequency. When alpha is independent of frequency, what is the meaning of that one? See, if alpha is function of frequency, then only frequency distortion will present. If alpha is independent of frequency, that means what? Alpha is constant always. Alpha, there is some alpha that is constant for all frequency. That is constant for all frequency. It is not necessarily to be zero. It may be zero also. That we will discuss later. What happens when alpha is zero? But here, alpha is constant for all frequency. It is independent of frequency. That means what? There is no frequency distortion. Okay, from this, what is understood? From this, if it is independent of frequency, then no frequency distortion, no frequency distortion. Okay. Now, you know what is alpha? Alpha means attenuation constant. That is the unit of this one is what? Napper per meter or what? dB per meter. You know what is the unit of this one? Just try to match the unit, whether the unit of alpha and unit of this one or this one all are same or different. Try to apply the units, because in future you will get confusion whether r square root of c by l comes or l by c comes. That kind of confusion and all you will have. Once if you have that unit concepts idea, then you may not make the mistake, okay, in future. Okay, so now I take the imaginary component, okay, imaginary component, just omega into square root of LC, or otherwise here also omega into square root of LC. So once if I take imaginary component, that imaginary component is what, sir? Because always gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta. If I take real component, that will denote alpha. If I take imaginary component, that will denote beta. So what is the imaginary component? That beta is equal to omega into square root of LC. This is the formula that I think we have already seen, but instead of LC, I think it was in some different format, mu epsilon, something like that. Okay, so beta is equal to omega into square root of LC. But you know what is phase velocity? Phase velocity is always the ratio of frequency divided by beta. Okay, now what is beta? Beta is equal to 1 by square root of LC. Okay, now this is the this is what phase velocity. This is what phase velocity. So phase velocity is always is equal to 1 divided by square root of LC. 1 divided by square root of LC. So the phase velocity is also independent of frequency. Independent of frequency. Once if the phase velocity is independent of frequency, then definitely each frequency will be traveling at the same speed, same phase velocity. Okay, then definitely the delay is constant. If it is independent of frequency, what is the meaning of this one? Delay is constant. Once if it is independent of frequency, phase velocity is constant. Once if phase velocity is constant, delay is constant, then there is no delay distortion. Then it indicates no delay distortion, no delay or phase distortion. Okay, no delay or phase distortion. So what is the condition? What is the condition to get a distortionless line? Okay, distortionless line. What is the condition to get distortionless line? It is simply R by L is equal to G by C, or you remember in this format, RC is equal to LG. Very, very important condition to get the distortionless line. Okay, distortionless line. Distortionless line. Condition for distortion line is R by L is equal to G by C, or RC is equal to LG. Once in the transmission line, if your transmission line parameter satisfies this condition, RC is equal to LG, then there will not be any distortion in your transmission line. Once there is no distortion, then what is the meaning of this one? You will not have any delay distortion, or you will not have any frequency distortion. You will not have any frequency distortion. And one more thing is the phase velocity is 1 by root LC. Definitely, what is the unit of this one? Meter per second. Okay, phase velocity means what? Meter per second. Okay, phase velocity unit is, okay, phase velocity means always what? Meter per second. Then from square root of LC, you try to get meter per second. You know what is the unit of L, you know what is the unit of C. From square root of LC, 1 by square root of LC, whether you are getting meter per second or not, but you have to get it. Somehow you introduce the equations that you know, then finally you have to get meter per second. So Vp is equal to 1 by square root of LC. Okay, so now what happens to another parameters? We know how to calculate the intrinsic impedance of the line. So the intrinsic impedance of the line in general, this is the intrinsic impedance of general line. Okay, it may be lossy or lossless or with the distortion or without distortion, I don't know, but this is the intrinsic impedance of the general line. From this, yes, from this what happens, you take L outside. Once we take L outside, this can be written as R by L and J omega. Here if we take C outside, this can be written as G by Z, J omega, then overall square root. Very clearly, once if this term is equal to this term, that is the meaning of distortionless. If R by L is equal to G by C, if R by L is equal to G by C, then Z naught is equal to square root of L by C. Very simply, you can write, this is the condition only when line is distortionless. Line is distortionless. Distortion, I don't know, you just write the correct letters, distortionless line. The line is distortionless. When the line is distortionless, R by L is equal to G by C. Z naught is equal to square root of L by C. Square root of L by C. Okay, now finally I'll conclude all the things. Okay, now one more thing we have left out. We know what is phase velocity when it is distortionless. When it is distortionless, 1 by square root of LC. Now, how to find out the delay? Okay, see, delay we are denoting in a notation called, what is the delay per unit length? Okay, delay means not as delay between the transmitter and receiver. In our notation, delay means delay per unit length. அதாவது ஒரு சிக்னல் வந்து ஒரு பாயிண்ட்ல இருந்து 1 மீட்டர் டிராவல் பண்ணணும்னா எவ்வளவு delay? That is the meaning of delay per unit length. Okay, delay means not simple delay per unit length. Okay, then what is the meaning of delay per unit length? You have to travel 1 meter length. You have some velocity. Then what is the delay? How much distance you have to travel? 1 meter. What is your velocity? That is your phase velocity. Then finally, what will be your delay? Your delay will be what? Square root of LC. Delay will be square root of LC. Square root of LC. Because you know what is VP. Then finally, delay will be square root of LC. Can anybody tell me what is the unit of this delay? Either it is seconds or something else. What is the unit of this delay? Either it is seconds or something else. Are you all?
Seconds.
Huh? Yes, sir.
Seconds.
How, sir? It is seconds. I am clearly telling what is the unit of VP. VP means meter per second. Once if it goes upward, that is seconds per meter.
Let delay per unit length.
Yes, sir. It is okay, but unit is seconds per meter. Because see, from the definition itself, what you are telling, delay per unit length. Delay means seconds. Per unit length means per meter. So what is this? Seconds per meter. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, because in the